Hi everyone, and welcome to Paper Pumpkin Week here on Creative Chelsey. Over the past couple days, I have shared some great card ideas that you can make with one set of supplies from this month's kit. Today I'm sharing with you my fourth set of alternative cards using the March 2024 Paper Pumpkin Kit called Memorable Meadows. The kit creates a total of 9 greeting cards, 3 in these 3 different designs. If you would like to watch me unbox the kit and create these cards, or see any of my other alternatives, you can click on the playlist in the top right corner. These 2 cards use fun techniques with the wood laser cut shapes to make beautiful handmade cards. Each month, I take the contents from the Paper Pumpkin kits and make alternative projects. My cards are easy to follow and can be made by both experienced or new paper crafters. You may need just a couple other products to complete them. You can follow along with me using supplies you already have, or purchase any products you see me use from my online store. The link to all products is below in my description or on my blog, creativechelsey.com. The first card I want to share with you today has a fun watercolor technique, and we're going to use kind of this leftover laser woodcut pieces as our template. And so we're going to do that first. You're going to want to start with a piece of basic white cardstock, cut to, I think it's a 3.5 by 3.5 square. And you could also use watercolor paper for this if you have that. So I am going to use, this is the laser cut piece that I'm going to add to my card. So I'm going to use the opening from the leftover pieces to do the stenciling. So I'm just going to use this one here. And because we're not using watercolor paper, and I also don't want there to be a lot of bleeding, I am going to use just a damp paintbrush, but I don't want there to be a lot of water on it. So I'm going to grab just kind of a little tissue to kind of dab up some of that water. And then the ink color I'm going to use does come from the Garden Green ink spot that we got in the kit. And I'm just going to add it to a clear block. And that's going to be my little palette for the watercolor technique. So I'm going to take the ink, mix it with a little bit of water, lay down my stencil anywhere on that basic white, and then just brush in the direction of the shape with that paintbrush until the color pretty much just comes clear. Go back, get a little more water, and then you can continue that. You want to make sure that you hold the stencil in place with your other hand. And get all around the crevices, okay? And you'll end up with something that looks like this. You can see there's a little bit of bleeding that will happen around the edges, so just keep that in mind, that it's not going to be totally a perfect edge to it. So then that just depends on how much water you add to your paper. And you're just going to lift it up then and repeat to the next section. If you want a little more color in one, you can just go back and get some more ink. And you'll get another section like that. And we're just going to work our way all around the whole paper here, just filling in as much of that paper with this pattern or shape as you want. So it's going to end up looking something like this. It's a really fun technique. We can put this off to the side to let it dry, but it really shouldn't take very long because we didn't use a lot of water. All right, so for the rest of the card, I'm using a soft seafoam card base. And then I have some Garden Green cardstock. It's cut to 3 inches by 3.5 inches, and I'm going to place it just right in the center. Eyeball that. Then I'm going to add our watercolor paper with some dimensionals. Just going to cut up the edge a little bit. So once that's done, you can place that right in the center of your card base. It should be even on the sides and top and bottom with that green, darker green piece underneath. Then I have stamped my greeting on one of the banner pieces from the kit. I just used It's the Little Things That Matter and add dimensionals to the back. I'm going to place that in the top right area. Then I'm going to take one of the wood elements. I've added adhesive underneath, and I'm just going to tuck that under the greeting slightly, just like that. It comes together really quickly. And then I'm going to take a bow, and you can use any twine or linen thread for this. This one is crumb cake baker's twine, but on here I used some of that leftover wavy trim. So I'm going to just pop that on just in the corner with a glue dot, and my card is all done. It's really quick, very simple and easy to put together. For my second card, I wanted to pull colors from the sky piece. So I'm using a petal pink card base, and then I have a 4" by 5 1/4 piece that I have embossed with that cross-hatching embossing folder from the Basics 3D embossing pack. And I've used this on a couple projects already this month with the alternatives. I do have one of the purple vellum pieces left over, and I'm just going to quickly cut this in half, and then I'm going to add it to the vellum, or sorry, add it to my card base to make it look like it's straight across. So I'm going to use my grid pattern here on this paper and maybe go 1 1/4 or so down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So just add it to about there. Smooth everything out. Then I have a piece that's about 1 7/8 inches square. And this was that extra piece that we had from my third set of alternative projects. I'm just going to go ahead and add it across the bottom, maybe with a little bit peeking out. And the reason the square is 1 7/8 is because that's the width of that scrap. And so that's why it fits so nicely across. I'm sorry, it's 2 7/8. After I said 1 7/8, I realized that doesn't quite look right. So I'm going to smooth that out and add this to my card with some dimensionals on the back. And this is going to go in the center over that opening that we created with the vellum. And then I have a fun technique I'm going to show you with the die cut or the laser cut shape. So go ahead and place that in the center over that vellum. See how that looks like it's just one straight piece running across? So I wanted to color this so that it coordinates nicely with the colors from that scrap of sky piece. So I'm going to use my extra paper to hold things, or my extra wood piece to hold things in place. But I'm going to pop this back in place, and then with a blending brush and my Berry Burst ink pad, I'm going to blend on top of this wood laser cut shape. Now you could use any coordinating color. It doesn't have to be Berry Burst. I just like that dark pink and how it will really pop against the light pink and purple that we've already added to this card. You can make this as dark or as light as you want. So once you're done blending the ink on top of that, you can add this with a little adhesive. You could use glue dots or liquid adhesive like I am. And you'll just place that right in the center at a slight angle. It'll take a minute for that to grab a hold of the cardstock if you're using liquid glue. And then I've got my greeting, and this is on a piece that's about 3/8 of an inch by 3.5 inches. And I'm just going to take my scissors and angle the ends. And then I'm going to place, oh, that's a pretty sharp angle. Let me kind of make that a little less sharp. I'm going to place a dimensional on the two sides. And then you're going to go ahead and add that to the bottom of the wood piece, and your card is all done. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me create these fun cards with the March 2024 Paper Pumpkin Kit. If you're interested in getting your own Paper Pumpkin subscription, please use the link in the description below. If you would like to see written instructions or close-up images on how to create these cards, you can visit my blog, creativechelsey.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.